welcome back to Huckleberry Concepts Wood Shop. As I'm creating these videos, a few of my friends came up to me and said, "So Wayne, what are you going to be videoing?" And I shared a few things with them, CNC files out there that I've created, and just show some standard woodworking items. And a few of them came in and said, "Well, Wayne, that sounds kind of boring. You're a funny guy. Why don't you put in some comedy or something like that?" So, I started thinking about it and thought, maybe it would be. It is a little dry, and coming in with a little comedy might help out a little bit. So I think I am going to add some comedy into this program and have a little bit of fun with it. So what's that? You ask what I'm making here? Well, I'm making toothpicks. You haven't heard that they're not making them any longer? They're not making them any shorter. Hello, and welcome to the Huckleberry Concepts Wood Shop. I've been woodworking for probably around 20 years, and I kind of got that passion from my grandfather and from my dad. My grandfather was a woodworker. He did a lot of handyman work in his later years, and my father was a machinist. So taking those two things, putting them together, I do a lot of CNC work, a lot of laser engraving now, and then just conventional woodworking as well. So I just wanted to give you a tour of my shop. A lot of the people that I talk to want to know what my shop looks like, what I have, what tools I have, and find out a little bit more about what's going on. I do have a TV in my shop. Sometimes I am watching a ball game or watching a movie or watching a YouTube video and studying up on a particular project. Also, you can see my laptop behind me. To give you a few specs about the shop is insulated. It is a Morton style building. It is 30 foot by 40 foot. It does have a concrete floor, and the ceilings are approximately 12 foot. There is insulation in the ceilings as well. I do have a heater in this shop. I do not have air. In the summertime, I do run a big fan. Probably in the next 2 years, I will be getting an electric heat pump out here to help cool and heat. This is my Yura Home 6550 laser engraver. It's been a fairly good unit. It does have a couple issues that I don't like about it. And the main one is it moves on you. So I am working on a bench that it will mount to. We will be able to mount this unit onto the table. So if I do bump this unit, the entire thing bumps, not just the grid itself. I do like to blare some music while I am in the shop. So I do have my speaker, my Bluetooth speaker, and then as far as some of the wood that you can see here, there are some short pieces in this batch. There's also some longer, maybe 3, 4, 5 foot walnut pieces. And then we've got a couple more pieces below. The metal racking behind me, you can see that there's a lot of walnut, some cedar, a little bit of white oak here and there. So those are going to be longer pieces, anywhere between 3 to 5 foot. Those pieces are mainly still rough cut. They have not been tampered with too much, and I picked the majority of that up at an auction. Then as more offs, so you got to keep everything, and maybe will come in useful a little bit later. You can see some of the products that I do use. I do use a lot of walrus oil, wood wax, anytime I do a cutting board. I have also tried the beeswax paste. I do like that. And then of course you can see in there that we've got some CA glue. Next, of course, we have to have a toolbox. The toolbox basically is all of my wrenches, sockets, a lot of screwdrivers, that sort of thing. Do have some sheet goods that I am working with right now. Hopefully we will get those going on a project here pretty soon. 3 boxes here. These are tables that are going to hold some of my equipment. I'll show you a picture of one of the tables here in a moment. As mentioned, I do have some wood that I did pick up at auction. I bought some ash, quite a bit of walnut, some cedar, and white oak. Recently, I did pick up the radial arm saw here. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I did get a really good price on it, so there's probably an opportunity that I am going to maybe sell it on Craigslist or Marketplace. I have made here recently 2 dust collectors. This one is going to be hanging from the ceiling. The other one is going to be on the floor. So just to catch a little bit more dust before it goes into my lungs. A couple cabinets. We're not going to go into that corner over there because it looks pretty rough. Over here you can see that I've got a mezzanine. I've got some wood up there as well. Most of that is going to be cedar, pine, Douglas fir. There is a little bit of walnut here and there, but some wood that more of 8-foot lengths. And then you can see my planer that I have, DeWalt toolbox planer. It has done an okay job. It is a knife blade planer, so it does have its issues. But overall, it has done a good job for me. You can also see underneath the mezzanine that I do have some storage capabilities in here. Again, we won't go into there. There's a lot of things going on in there, a lot of scrap wood. The cabinet here houses all of my charging, cordless devices. I also have drill bits in here. One of the things you may have noticed is that I don't have a lot of dedicated drops for dust collection throughout my shop. I do use my shop vac a lot in my shop to collect dust on the particular machine, and then of course clean up afterwards. With this guy here, it does have an attachment that you can put your shop vac on or dust collection system on. Regardless, this guy here puts out so much dust, it is easier for me just to take it outside and let it run outside. If I have a little bit of extra dust outside, I don't have close neighbors, we live on a few acres, I'm in good shape. And now once I go to the larger planer, then I will have a dedicated dust collection for that particular planer. I am going to take the existing dust collection system and put it in here. I'm then going to plumb it all the way up past the mezzanine into the ceiling, and then have designated drops throughout the shop so that we can have dust collection for individual machines. We're going to do the same thing with electrical. I am looking at a planer that's going to be 220. Once I upgrade my table saw, that will probably be 220 as well. So we will need to drop 220 in various places. The CNC machine is already set up for 220, but we will need those other spots throughout the shop. I'm also going to make a drop of 110 from the ceiling right over the assembly table and right between the miter saw and the bandsaws. Underneath my glue up table, I have a few different things. First of all, I have glue. Want to keep that close to where I'm doing the majority of my gluing. I also have a spindle sander that I will move out to my assembly table when needed. And then I have my older miter saw. I'm not sure if I'm going to vote these 2 units off the island and sell them, but for now, I am not utilizing them. You can also see that I have a few other things underneath my glue-up table, such as weights, and then the Rockler mat on top. The Rockler silicone mat has been great. I've loved working with that. I will probably buy one or two more. If my kids are watching this, that would be a great gift for Christmas. So feel free to buy your old dad an extra Rockler glue up mat. You can see in this corner I have a few different things. One, I have some jigs. I do have two saws, two hand saws. These were my dad's. I don't ever use them, but they will stay in my shop. Maybe one day I'll give them to my kids or grandkids. I do have several clamps. Here are two items that I'm using constantly. I use them so much I don't even put them away. They are on my assembly table lower shelf, right where I am normally standing on a padded floor. I'm using these all of the time. This is my DeWalt orbital sander and my Bosch Colt hand router. The Bosch hand router is only about a year old, and I've used it on just about every project that I've worked on over the last year. The sander is approximately 8, 9, 10 years old. It just keeps running. I'm having trouble moving away from this sander because it's doing such a good job. I'd love to get your opinion to see if I should move to a more advanced sander, and if so, which sander would you recommend? We have three things going on right here. One, we've got a Grizzly miter saw. This miter saw has been great. It's been a beast. I've used this miter saw for the last few months, really enjoyed it. Not enough time on it to actually give a solid review on it, but so far, I love it. It is setting on a severe table. This severe table came from Sam's Club. It has got the stainless steel doors and drawers on it, and then a hardwood butcher block top. I've had this unit for approximately 7 or 8 years, and I am adding to this. So I went back to Sam's Club to see if they have some more of these units, and they did. And these will be smaller units that will go on each side of this particular unit with a lower table to set the miter saw on. And I'm also going to set the joiner on the other end, so that I will have a large table in the middle, small tables on each end, and in between those small and large tables, I'll have my miter saw and my joiner. This next machine is my Axiom CNC. I've had this machine for approximately 8 years. It's been working great. This guy has been the center of my shop, utilizing it on 75% of my projects. I've used this machine as a planer before I had a planer, a jointer before I had a jointer, intricate cuts, repetitive cuts. It's seen it all. I'll do a product review on this unit and share the things I like about it. Also, I'll have several videos on projects I've made and sewed with this unit, and also supply many of the project files. On the other side of my CNC, you can see some of my commonly used tools, my wrenches for my router, some clamp downs, some jigs, also the most common router bits that I use. I do have quite a few more router bits, but these are the most common ones that I use, and occasionally I do wear out. You can also see that I have a fob that works with my desk collection, so that I can put that in my pocket and easily turn on and off my desk collection. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my shop tour. I hope you'll hit the subscribe button so we can alert you when our next videos are coming out. We do have some fun projects coming up. There will be a lot of changes to the shop over the next 6 months, again, with this guy right here. With the new tables that are coming in, I do have my eyes out for a new drill press, Hopefully we'll be purchasing that here pretty soon, probably try to pick that up at a good price at an auction. As far as the planer, I am looking for a new planer as well. I do have my eye on a grizzly helical head planer, and hopefully within a couple months, maybe we'll have that as well. Thanks a lot.